Dear friends, welcome to module number 2. In this module, I will teach you how to make amazing dishes from lentils and beans. In Indian and Ayurvedic cuisine, they also call dal and rajma. Dal is a lentil stew and rajma is a bean stew. As you probably know, but in case if you don't, legumes are excellent source of protein and fiber, which is absolutely great for you. In addition, they are very rich in minerals and vitamins, especially vitamin B group. As far as minerals, they are very rich in essential minerals like iron, molybdenum, copper, manganese, magnesium, calcium, just to name a few. Nature is wonderful and it designed a big array of different lentils and beans, so you can actually enrich your diet and have an amazing amount of fiber and minerals and vitamins in your dish. In this module, I'm going to introduce you to 4 different recipes. They are called Tatka Dal, which is made with a combination of hulled moon beans and Masoor Dal, which is going to be this one. This is actually hulled Moon Dao and it's split. And the next one is called Masoor Dal, which is hulled brown lentil. So it's going to be a combination of 50-50. And we're gonna call it Tatka Dal. It's actually the lightest out of all, and it's great for every dosha, especially Vata dosha. Next one is going to be full Moon Dao, which is actually this one, but it's in its natural form before it was processed. And this is not lentil, this is gram or mash, they call it sometimes. It's highly nutritious, it's great to digest for all kinds of dosha, but it's best to be digested by Pitta and Kapha. This has incredible amount of nutrition and protein, and I'm gonna teach you how to cook this dal as well. That's gonna be number 2. Number 3 is going to be called Dal Makhani. That is a combination of black gram, which is called urad dal. This is how it looks when it's split in half. And I'm going to add also red kidney beans in that. So it's going to be a combination of these two. It's also very popular. It's very high in protein. This is actually going to be the highest in protein level. And then fourth one is going to be just red bean rajma, and I'm going to add eggplant into that. So these are the main 4 recipes. Nature designed legumes in different forms and colors, and there is a reason for that, because one legumes could be more beneficial than the others, but it depends on your dosha. So it's important to also understand which legumes are better for you than the other. It doesn't mean that you can only eat one type. You can definitely eat a variety of many different lentils, but you would want to be focused more on particular ones and try to reduce or eliminate the other ones. For example, the lightest and the most easiest to digest is going to be skinned or called hulled lentils. And these will be the 2 kinds, for example, that I'll be cooking today. They will be amazing for Vata dosha, but all the others can eat that. For Pitta dosha, very lucky, they can eat all kinds of beans and lentils, and they're great to digest because Pitta dosha can easily digest any kinds of proteins. And for Kapha, Kapha also could be very friendly with legumes, but particular legumes are not great for them, which will be urad dal, which is this one, for example. It's a black gram, and also soybeans. I would recommend for kapha dosha to actually reduce the amount of those. Why? Because those type of lentils, they do increase the muscle mass, and kapha is very well built. They actually don't need too many muscles anymore. You want to kind of be more balanced and eat less heavy lentils and beans. So that's the main idea. And for actually for peas, which is over here, peas are great for mostly pitta and kapha. Vata will have trouble digesting this because they are very rich in protein, and as we know, vata is it's hard for it to digest proteins. Therefore, I would not recommend for vata dosha to consume too many peas, and also beans, because beans are very heavy in protein as well. In order to cook legumes, I would recommend to soak them at least overnight, and for particular types of legumes to actually 24 hours. I'm very fond of this process because, first of all, when you soak them, you actually increase the amount of vitamins in it. In addition, you also remove anti-nutrition properties that most of legumes have, as you're probably aware of that. So it's important to give it time to process it properly. So for example, for any kind of lentils and gram, you would want to do overnight soaking, and for any type of beans, you actually want to do 24 hours because they are more dense in nutrition and the hardest. Therefore, you want to give a bit more time. When you soak these products, you actually increase a great amount of vitamins in it, and also you increase prana because they start to germinate, and that's very beneficial for you. If you leave it for over 24 hours, you can actually sprout them and add them into your salads. In addition, once the beans and lentils are soaked and you're ready to cook them, the proportion of beans to water is going to be 1:1, or sometimes it's 1.5, depending on how liquidy you want it to be. But once it's soaked, actually any lentil or bean will double in size. So if you soak lentils, 1 cup of lentils, it becomes 2 cups. In this case, you don't add more water into the cooking. You will add, for example, it will be 2 cups of lentil soaked, and then you will add 2 cups of water. So proportion is 1:1 basically. And the same thing goes with beans, but sometimes they soak a bit more water during cooking. So you just want to watch and add more water if you need to. For example, so you add any lentil or bean in a container like this or more, depending how much you want to cook. Then you pour water until the top, just to cover your lentil, and then you keep it overnight and cover it, obviously. Keep it overnight, and the next day it's ready. And you also want to discard that water after it's ready, and when you cook it, you add new water into the mix. In Ayurvedic cuisine, we actually don't use garlic and chili and onion. We only use spices. And in the recipes that I'm gonna give you, they will not contain any of those. However, if you like the taste, you can always add that, but it's not gonna be Ayurvedic. However, the spices that I will describe in the cooking process will give absolutely amazing flavor. You should definitely try that before you experiment with garlic and onion and chili. I'd like you to take a step and actually open yourself to new flavors. That's one of the reasons I wanted to incorporate a lot of different spices. In addition, Once the dal or rajma is cooked, you can store it in any container. I prefer to store it in actually glass container like this. And you can store it in the fridge up to 2 to 3 days, and there'll be no problem with the dal. When you go to work, you can use any type of container. So you could prepare your own lunch. You can put dal here, you can put any grain of your choice or vegetables, and it's easy to take with you. So this is how I usually do it for me, and that's how I take it to work. So now let's dive into Ayurvedic cooking, and we're gonna start with Tatka dal.